Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons. This is 93.7 The Ticket. You know, I got to give a big shout out to Matt Warner and Empire Fencing. Man, those guys are doing great things out there, and I really do appreciate the support I receive from you guys. You know, today I starting to feel a little bit like winter to me for some reason. A little nippier outside, so I guess that's just this time of the year. But you know, I was thinking about my guest. I've never met my guest that we have tonight, but I got an idea of what she does. So we're going to learn together tonight about my guest. But the thing that I think that really interests me about my guest is she fits this profile that I have in my mind of someone wanting to be helpful to others, helping the community, you know, in any ways as they can. I know we live in a me world. I get that, but I still believe in helping others when you can. I'm not saying put yourself out, but if you're in a position to help, I just think it's a wonderful thing. While I'm thinking about helping, I just got to give a quick shout out to the Bridge Treatment Center. I'm going to be going back there Tuesday. Really looking forward to that. Part of my give back thing, I don't just talk about it, I be about it. I like helping people. I like seeing people be successful. That, for some reason, makes me feel good about me. And a lot of times I think that lack of kindness is lost in a lot of people's actions. So helping others, being grateful, these are things that are very interesting to me. And also, before we get to my guest, I got to say big shout out to Nebraska football program for becoming bowl eligible. I'm a huge Nebraska fan. I actually don't talk sports, but I am a huge fan. I want to see them do well also. So congratulations on becoming bowl eligible. I mean, that's a great step in the right direction. I just want to acknowledge that. But back to what I was talking about earlier, you know, helping people and giving back when you can. I just think that's a good thing to do. You know, a lot of times it's not going to make you very popular. It's not going to get you a lot of clicks if that's what you're looking for. But I think it's just a great thing to do. And personally, I feel good on the inside about doing that. So I'm going to bring my guest in, Jasmine Harris. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Ricky.
Well, no, thank you for being willing to come on. Like I said, I don't know you personally, but I'm very interested in learning about you. So we're going to start right from the beginning. Where are you from, Jasmine?
Ricky, I'm born and raised here in Omaha, Nebraska. So
Okay. What high school did you go to in the Big O?
Northwest Huskies. Let's go.
What? Not the Huskies. Okay. So, Jasmine, let me ask you a quick question. When you were growing up in Omaha, what led you to what we're going to get to later? But what led you to want to be a person that gives back and help out?
Yeah, Ricky, my journey was nowhere near to coming to what I do now for work or anything like
really?
that, really. When I was younger, you know, I had childhood trauma, things like that. I always knew education was the thing, right? And from a young age, I was like, I'm leaving Omaha. And went away to school for about a year and a half and came back. But my pathway was I was going to give back in the medical field. I always wanted to be a doctor.
Oh,
So
okay.
my undergrad was in biology pre-med. And, you know, from there to where I am now, it was a whole journey.
I got you.
But it was always something in me that, you know, helping people. It's always been about helping people.
Well, I mean, and like I was asking her, like you say you grew up in Omaha, you know, I grew up in Texas, so it's a little different, you know, upbringing, but I'm pretty sure some of the values were the same. But I guess my thing is, Can you share with us what your journey of growing up in Omaha was like? I mean,
Yeah.
I'd,
Um,
I'd love to hear about that.
so my family is originally from Louisiana. So my
Oh,
grandmother moved up here with my mom and had other children while they were here. So I come from a background of a family of all women on my mom's side. So my grandmother had 5 daughters, and
oh
so
wow.
I think that being instilled in me, get just doing what you need to do, making sure your family is taken care of. It's all about family, right? I think that's what really laid my foundation. And
Hmm.
then going to church. My grandmother took us to church all the time. And so just those values and morals that were instilled from her and my great grandmother, I think were the ones that like really stuck out the most. I
Okay.
think back on like, my grandmother helping people all the time. She did some CNA work and nursing work and things like that. So it was something that was always there, just helping people whenever they're in need.
Okay. Well, I guess my next question is real simple. Um, Going to Northwest, did you? What type of things were you involved in, or you? What was your interest in high school?
So I started off doing concert choir. So I was a singer.
Oh, you got some skills, huh?
I got some skills, and then outside of that, in my free time, I was rapping. So I was gonna
Oh,
either be a rapper or a doctor. So everybody always messed with me about that.
well, that you know what? That covers a wide range of talent. I mean, you can rap and you want to be a doctor. I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty amazing. Um, what led you? What led you to wanting to be a doctor? Just let's start there.
I think the earliest I can remember is really just thinking about how you get those doctor kid well kids back then we had those little doctor kids, and I don't know what it was always science and in the health field, and so like Christmas toys and stuff. I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor. I love science. I love just going and help seeing people feeling better when people were sick
Right,
and
right.
whatnot. And then my senior year in high school, my cousin, who was 20 years old at the time, she got deathly ill and passed away.
Oh,
And just being in the hospital and seeing the nurses take care of her and the doctors coming in and speaking to the family and making sure we were all okay, I think that really propelled me to move into that as I'm figuring out what my career path is. And it's like, okay, I think I'll step into this role right here.
well, I mean, now please understand one thing. I'm speaking for myself on this. I know the importance of the medical field and doctors
Hmm.
and stuff, but I couldn't do it. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't know if my stomach would allow me to
And
do.
now that I am older and didn't go to medical school, and I look back and I was like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, I know it's an important thing, and I don't like to make light of nothing. I just like to have fun and laugh and joke about things. But
Yeah.
I get the seriousness of it. Now, I have to ask you this. Now, you said you had some skills rapping. Where did that come from?
I said I'm not about to rap over here on this show tonight.
Oh, no, that's fine. But I mean, where did the rap come? I mean, the concept of
um,
rapping. What led you to wanting to do that?
I think it was just like writing poems or whatnot, and then
Oh, okay.
that was the culture back then in the '90s, right? It was, hey, can you put that to some music, and that's where it came from.
Okay, okay. So was it? I'm assuming that it was positive.
And it got there.
Okay. Well, listen. I want you to share some more stuff with us, but I really want you to tell us about what you did after high school.
And so after high school, I went away to New Mexico State University for about a year and a half, followed my friend down
Okay.
there, and moved back up here. And I was still enrolled in school, but kind of struggled. I was in a relationship that wasn't a healthy relationship,
Hmm.
dealing with not handling the childhood trauma and things like fell into getting in trouble with the system
Oh
and
wow.
had to in college, but like education is the thing, but having to fight this internal turmoil, right? And figure out what's going on. And, finally got myself on track after that. And so came back here, went to college and graduated from UNO. And wouldn't, because I had my bachelor's in biology, and so trying to find a job, and because I've had some of those troubles, I was out of work for almost 2 years,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they were misdemeanors, and I'm like, if I'm having this hard of a time, people with felony convictions are going through the worst. Because I was applying for jobs I had previously, I was being told no. Applying for jobs I was overqualified for, being told no. And so, because I had to take care of my son at that point, I was like, well, let me just go back to school and
Right.
see what I can do. And that's I enrolled into my Master's of Public Health program at UNMC and got a work study position. And really just grateful and thankful to the person who gave me an opportunity to get that work study position at UNO's library. And so worked through that and ended up getting a full-time job. So never falling light on me the second chances that people can give you, because you can look one way on paper, but it's not who you really are. So
Correct. I gotta say this while I'm thinking about it. I want everybody listening to understand something. This thing called life is it doesn't really come with instructions. So sometimes, yeah,
mhm.
we get off track. We make choices that we probably wish we hadn't have. But sometimes um, I think it's a little difficult when you do make a bad choice to get. It's difficult to get another chance,
Mhm.
and when you do get that chance, it's like you don't have so many no's to get to that yes, that it's almost like when you get a yes, it's almost like, is this real or am I dreaming?
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, I want to encourage everyone to never give up. I don't care if you have 1,000 doors slammed in your face, and I can say this from experience because I've had so many doors slammed in my face. It doesn't even bother me anymore. It just is what it is. But quitting is not an option. So I'm proud of you for not giving up, because
Thank you.
I don't know what happened, and that's none of my business. But I will say this: the fact that you stuck with it, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this word called adversity.
Oh yeah.
Most people, that's one of the real important things in life. You must learn how to deal with adversity. I personally struggled with adversity for a long time.
Mhm.
I, I'm much better now than I used to be, but man, adversity, I used to have a hard time with adversity. So
Mhm.
I can recognize through what you're saying that you put in the work.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
now when you got done at, you say UNO, and
That
you
was
got,
my undergrad, and then I went back and got my master's at UNMC.
okay. Now after that, what was next for Jasmine?
So after I got my master's in public health, it was all about substance use prevention, and started working on doing underage drinking, high risk drinking, and in college age students, and how do you work around preventing that. And so I coordinated a grant, and that was between Douglas, Sarpy, and Washington counties, and
Mm-hmm.
really worked with like UNO and Creighton in setting up their alternative programming. So that would keep students on campus and not going off campus and partying and drinking and things like that, and went from there, and then started working at Creighton University in their cardiac center on a grant that focused on tobacco prevention. And so in all of that, I've always said I was advocating before I knew what advocating was, because of what I went through with, not getting a job, and always saying I'm going to, speak up in the rooms where it needs to happen, and join the Urban League of Nebraska Young Professionals. And everything that I was learning at work with law and policy stuff, and seeing how that all that comes together, and then taking the personal passion of ensuring that we're working to remove as many barriers as possible for people who have been impacted by the criminal legal system,
Mm-hmm.
and just started doing that in my personal time, volunteering with the Urban League Young Professionals, became chair of their civic engagement committee, and we did this whole year focused on creating awareness around the barriers people who are impacted by the legal system go through. And with that, they were like, "Well, what's next?" Then we're going to show people how to get involved in, you know, how laws are made and how they can be impacted in, civic engagement, and why that's important for us to know how things work. And that's pretty much what ended up happening, the passion of speaking up for people and getting people educated on why it's important for us to get into these rooms and speak up and try to remove as many barriers as possible led me to where I am now with Rise.
Now, when you were saying speaking up, that takes courage, because first of all, when you speak up against things that you feel strongly about, not everyone agrees with you. So there's always pushback,
Hmm.
especially in the rooms that you're speaking up in. So I admire you for that. Like I said, I'm just getting to know you over this show. So, I mean, I just think that's important. And I like to point stuff out that I feel is something that's overlooked a lot of times. And I've said this several times before, which is negativity gets so much credit. I just wish, and I know this is probably wishful thinking on my part, but I would love to see positive get the attention that negative gets.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to happen very much. But I'm never going to give up because my quit button broke. So I get it. I'm going to do what I do, but I just, it's nice to know that there are other people like yourself that are out there fighting as well. Now you mentioned Rise.
Mhm.
Can you tell us what's Rise all about?
Yeah, so Rise is the largest nonprofit in Nebraska that focuses on holistically programming for people who have been incarcerated and coming home from incarceration. So
Okay.
we operate a program in 7 of the 10 correctional facilities here in Nebraska, and this program focuses a lot on character development, entrepreneurship, and employment readiness. And so we started in 2016 under a national organization, and we quickly realized we needed to break from there and rebrand and be our own entity here to have the success we needed to. And so, as we focus on our main programming being in the facilities, we also have a reentry team that starts working with folks about 18 months before they leave the facilities to work on their reentry plan and what life is going to be like for them on the outside. And those individuals, 50% of our staff have lived experience from their own journeys through going through the criminal legal system. And so those individuals who work on our staff are reentry navigators, and they walk side by side people as they're coming home. Sometimes we're the ones that are there picking people up at the gate. We're at the parole hearings, things like
Mhm.
that. We also have our youth and family programs that works on family reunification. What does it look like for your loved one to come home? How do you reintegrate them back into your life and make sure you all are on the same page? And we have our business academy, which we are about the entrepreneurship piece. If you can't get a job, then make a job. And we tell people all the time, if you hustled, you're an entrepreneur. It just
Absolutely.
like, what is
Absolutely.
that skill set that you're using, and what are you using it for? And getting them to see it from that standpoint. So we've helped about 23 businesses get started in the, I think, 3 or 4 years we have been operating that business academy. And then we also have my piece of the pie, which is policy and advocacy. So I am down at the legislature working with any elected officials I can to remove as many barriers as possible. We just this year got 2 major bills passed: the voting rights restoration, where we restored the voting rights of over 7,000 Nebraskans who were at this 2-year waiting period. And then we also got a change in the occupational board reform. So removing barriers for people who are trying to get occupational licenses and being told no because they have convictions on their record that have nothing to do with whatever that career path is. So I think
Okay.
those are 2 big things that we got done this year.
Well, look, I'll say this. Thank you for just that part right there alone. Um, I have a special spot in my heart for people that actually are trying to turn their life around for the
Yeah.
better. And it sounds like you guys are helping with that, lay that foundation for that to actually happen. So thank you for doing
Oh,
that.
you're
I,
welcome.
yeah, I think I mean, I'm not by no means trying to uh, make light of a fact that a person does something that puts them in that situation where they have to be incarcerated. But not everybody that gets incarcerated for whatever reasons are bad people.
Yep.
You know, and I think society needs to take a serious look at that, because a lot of people actually do change.
They
You know,
do.
yeah. I mean, I like to look at it as, change is possible. And a guy that mentors me to this very day, his name is Coach Tom Osborne. He says no one is, no one cannot be rehabilitated. It's like he really believes in the redemption thing. And that encourages, that has encouraged me, and it still continues to encourage me, because a lot of times when you're incarcerated and you're getting out, the one thing that I remember personally is you have no credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Your word's nothing. No one believes in you. Most people, not all, but most people have burnt the majority of their bridges. So there's not a really good support system in place. So I think Rise is filling a lot of those voids.
Yeah, we tell people all the time it's about building trust with folks.
Right.
And we hear it all the time from people, is that restoration of hope. And that's what a lot of people lose.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how to say this, and so I'll just say it. I'll just be real honest with you. I just think that everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do something that, that's beyond repair, I understand that part too. But I mean, some of these crimes that people are incarcerated for, I think they can be rehabilitated. So we're going to take a quick break at this point, but we're going to come back and we're going to finish up this conversation and talk about some really interesting things. So don't y'all go anywhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Let's get you happy on out.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? That feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on O Street. Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree option. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, and we back. Man, I was looking at the comments. Neola Cooper, I appreciate you showing support. You always support the show. That means a lot to me. Actually, I got to give you a big shout out and a thank you for introducing me to our guest tonight. I mean, I would have not known about this young lady had it been for you. So thank you very much. And Jasmine, you said you've been in this. Now, how long have you been with Rise? I'm just kind of curious.
Since 2017. So is that 7 years?
Wow. So what was the difference? I mean, did you have to work your way up or?
I was the fourth person hired. So early on, I came in as kind of like frontline staff, right? I was a director, post-release program manager. So working with our people who were graduating our program and getting out and doing that frontline, working to get, find jobs and find housing and get them connected to resources. And again, as we left that national organization, funders were like, hey, we're interested in, reform work. And that was something that, I was doing in my personal capacity, because even before stepping into, Rise in that role, that's what I was doing in my personal capacity. I was talking about, ban the box, removing that question off of applications for people.
Oh, yeah.
Having to mark that. So they saw a lot of the advocacy work I was doing in the community and said, write for your dream job. And that's what I did. And that's where this position came from. So, I talk about divine alignment. I believe in God, and he makes sure that everything lines up to where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, like I said, I just think that, I know Carla Walker is a good friend of mine, and she spoke highly of you as well.
I love Carla.
Yeah, she really, when I told her that you were going to be my guest, I was on the phone, but I could see it. I could hear it in her voice. She lit up. So you've made impact on a lot of people too. So I just want you to know that it's not going unnoticed.
Yeah.
What's the future look like for you when it comes to Rise? I mean, what are you thinking long term there? Long term,
we went from a staff of 5 to over 30 in the past 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's fast growth, it's major growth. And when you get into this work, again, like how you were saying, it's not for the money. It's not for, fame and glory.
Right.
For me, it's really giving people hope and getting people connected. So that way, our mission is to break generational cycles of incarceration. So trying to prevent young kids from following in the steps of their parents and cousins or uncles or whatever that looks like. And so for me, we're doing our strategic planning and our dreaming, and how can we ensure we solidify a place to where people can come and be. And I think that's for us is like that big vision, right? Where people
Okay.
have somewhere to come and connect to. Where can we send people to get these resources? And I know we're not the only answer, right? There's other organizations that do this work, like Center for People in Need in Lincoln, and making all these connections. Southeast Community College is doing some awesome stuff with their education programs that they're also offering in facilities and having people come onto the campus. So it's ensuring that we are a conduit for people to get connected into those second chances and removing as many barriers as possible. Because like you said, speaking up in those rooms where you get the pushback, that's real.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
real,
yeah.
real.
Yeah. Yeah. And and to your credit, you have to have a certain mentality, when you're speaking up,
Yeah.
because you want to be firm, I'm sure, but you got to make sure you kind of keep it under control, because sometimes the way the presentation gets lost, or the message gets lost in the presentation.
Most definitely.
I mean, you go in there and you elevate your voice, and your message is kind of overlooked because of your voice level, or your body language.
Mhm.
So I mean, I can only imagine the challenges that you have in those rooms. But again, I am the type of person that wants to give credit to people that have that ability, because sometimes when things aren't right, and you're getting a lot of resistance, it's real hard to stay professional sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Trying to keep this as positive as I can, but I mean, and I'm not making light of it, but I just know that just in everyday life, it's to deal with adversity in a positive
Mhm.
manner is very tough. But I'm pretty sure you've had a lot of practice, because you've probably been in the room more than you.
When you're in the room, it's one way, and when you leave, it's like, woo.
Yeah, yeah. Some of those thoughts that go through your mind that you can't share. And I respect that as well. Now, do you guys? So you say you go into the different facilities.
Yes.
How did y'all pull that off? I mean, are you able to actually go in through, and just hand select people? Or, I mean, explain that process. How does a person that's incarcerated, how do they even get involved with RISE? I guess is my
Yeah.
question.
So when we first started the program, that all of the connections that are in the background of how do you get this program in, working with the director of corrections a few back in 2016, and saying this is a program, we want to do this as an organization, and letting them test it out is pretty much where it all started from. But how we do it, working with the administration of those facilities, so like the warden and the programs director, that we advertise when we are having a class start, and we do a kickoff information session. So everybody who's interested will put in communications. They call them kites.
Yeah, right.
They put in a kite.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And it's basically a memo inside, right? So
Right.
they put in their kite to say they're interested in coming, and we'll do a whole introduction of RISE, who we are, what we do, what the program will entail. And those individuals who are still interested, they'll fill out an application. Now, this is an application where they write essays, they tell them their story. And then one of our programs that we started is an actual in-unit program at NSP. So those individuals who are selected will actually live in the unit together while they're going through the program. The other facilities aren't, we don't have that specific one set up yet because that was a pilot. But individuals are selected. They look at how much time they have left, who's closer to the door versus someone who may be a lifer who have more time and they can get into the next cohort or whatnot. And once those individuals are selected for the class, we have our in-prison program associates who go weekly and facilitate the program about 2 to 3 times a week. And we have peer facilitators, so people who have graduated the class who come back and help the guys and gals who are going through it currently, and they'll lead discussions, they'll lead class sometimes. So yeah, it's
So you actually have a program in York as well. Is that correct?
yes.
Good. Yeah, I think that's smart. Well, I mean, I guess, when I think about it, I'm just sitting here, just kind of mulling over my mind. I'm thinking this is very helpful because when you don't have resources or you don't have anybody that's actually trying to put together a program to get you acclimated back into society or to get you back into society on a positive note.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's almost like recidivism waiting to happen, and I think that's a big part of what Rise is trying to avoid.
Yes.
Because people get out, and I don't know what it is to this day, but I remember once upon a time what they give you for a gate fee, and then and if you don't have anywhere to go, by the time you report that next morning, you may be basically without money,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't have a support system in place, man, that makes it a whole lot more challenging.
Yeah, we say reentry is crisis.
Yes.
If you don't have that support system in the family, like you said, the gate fee now is $100, and if you have to go out of town, you might get dropped off at the bus station. So, how much is a ticket from Lincoln to Omaha? Right? It's reentry is crisis for a lot of people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And plus, if you burn all your bridges before you was incarcerated, even when you get to Omaha with the bus with that little gate fee, then what do you? You might want to get something to eat. Then, I mean, if you have to try to find somewhere to stay, it doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room,
No.
And then doors are being shut in your face, and so yeah, it's kind of tough. But I like the fact that you guys promote, people getting out and starting their own business.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important. Well, my next question for you is kind of off topic, but I gotta ask it. Now, when I spoke with you over the phone, you said that your husband's uncle
Mm-hmm.
was a teammate of mine. Did I hear that right?
You did, Neil Harris.
Neil Harris, rest in peace, a good man. I was thinking about him, when I was driving to the studio, and I was like, man, I gotta acknowledge him, publicly. I want to acknowledge him. For those of you that don't know or didn't know, Neil Harris was a defensive back for us when I played, and he passed away. And another one of those things to me, I call an eye opener. You just never know. This thing called life, man. It doesn't come with guarantees. It doesn't come with a contract. So I think it's very important that you make the most out of every day, and not just people that are incarcerated. I mean, this is for anybody across the board, So I had to mention him. So, but I will ask you another question. I want you to give me your opinion on when you guys do this Rise program and what's your success rate? Do you have any numbers to kind of back what you're doing?
Yeah, if anybody wants to go, our annual reports are on our website at csrise.org. But when we look at recidivism, which is a whole debate about things now, desistance versus recidivism, but our recidivism rate for any new charges is at 8%. So majority of our people do not go back for new charges. If you want to talk about like parole violations, and then what those, end up being, whether it was a sanction for not having a job or, something that people don't get a new crime for, that's slightly higher. But at that also in that same vein, over 80% of our graduates who are out in the community have been employed or are employed. We have a director of employment services who is out there doing amazing work, working with companies getting, not just jobs, but trying to set up career paths for people. So doing a lot of great work out here.
Well, I've noticed one other program, and I don't know that this program is affiliated with Rise, but I know one program they started is like getting these guys that are getting ready to get out. They can earn their CDL, and they can drive over the road. I mean, that's a pretty lucrative opportunity if you take advantage of it. So, I guess my thing is, I'm always looking at different ways to help people, and it sounds like Rise is doing the same thing. I want to know if you're thinking down the road that if Rise gets bigger and bigger and bigger, I think if it's given a chance, it can help a lot of people. Do you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. Well, we're already thinking about like how can we expand across the country, right?
Yeah. So now you're just in Nebraska, is that
just
right?
in Nebraska, yeah.
Okay, but you have plans and hopes and dreams of going nationwide.
It's always a conversation.
Well,
like, what does that look like?
Hey, listen,
You
Jeff,
want to give as much hope and help as many
look,
people as possible.
I got these sayings that I'm well known for. Is like, and one of them is I shoot for the moon.
There you go.
And even if I fall short, I'll be amongst the stars.
Hey.
And I still think that's good company. So no, I encourage you guys to keep shooting for the moon, and helping as many people as you can. Is there anyone out there in particular that you want to acknowledge, or can you do that?
I can.
Yeah, well, please do. I mean, because I like giving people credit that don't get the credit they deserve. I mean, we give you credit when you go and you commit a crime. We give you plenty of credit. We'll put you on TV and everything. We'll even make you break the news. So, if you don't mind, give credit to some people that you think deserves it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are movers and shakers in the communities that aren't uplifted. One individual for sure is Shakur Abdullah. He was incarcerated in the Nebraska Department of Corrections for 41 years.
Wow.
And he got out based on a law that was passed around juveniles who were sentenced to life. And he has been out he got out in 2017, and just an amazing person, and ensuring that he upholds the integrity, and he's out here speaking truth to power and going back in. He's doing restorative justice work with the CJC Center down there in Lincoln. And so just amazing individual. There's a lot of folks who I see.
I you can't name them all, but I just want to give some people credit, man, because sometimes we just don't do that. We give credit at the wrong time, and I want to give credit at the right time. Hey, we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to come back and wrap the show up. Don't go anywhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Just to get you happy on that one.
Sean Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? That feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on O Street. Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Man, I tell you, I've learned a lot, and I'm just very thankful for our guest, Desmond Harris. I appreciate you for taking the time, and I always like to get that in right on the beginning of my last break, because sometimes I run out of time and I don't get a chance to say thank you, so I'm saying thank you in advance. I would like to, if you don't mind, is there a way for someone that may be listening that may have someone close to them that's incarcerated that may be getting ready to get released? How would they contact you, or how would they let their significant other or whoever's in their life that's in that situation, what information can you give them?
Yeah, I can be reached through email. It's jharris@csrise.org. So just like SEEUSRISE. So watch us rise, csrise.org. And or you can contact us through that website, csrise.org. Those are probably the easiest ways. We have contact forms on there, and they go straight to people's emails, so you can get in contact with anyone from those different areas really fast through that way.
Good, thank you for that. And Carla Walker actually is listening tonight, so she said, "Ricky, great show." So I guess we're doing okay. And I appreciate you, Carla, for for the support that you continue to give me also. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to cover before we wrap the show up?
I don't think so. Like you said, just kind of giving you an overview of who we are and what we do. We have offices in Omaha and Lincoln, so people in Lincoln can get a hold of us that way as well. But we do serve people who release to the rest of the state. So we have people who are releasing to Grand Island and Hastings area, Scottsbluffs, and so I think one of the main things when we talk about the work we do and helping people, we can't do it alone. So it's really getting more folks aware of the struggles that people face who are really trying to change their lives around and how they can get involved with that. There are ways, like if you are in a position to hire people or you work in HR and you see your policies are keeping people boxed out, like have those conversations with leadership. We can come in and have those conversations with them as well. If you are a landlord, like finding housing for people is extremely hard, and don't have a specific, conviction. Like if you've been convicted of manufacturing drugs or something, people are like, we are definitely not, so
Yes.
changing those hearts and minds is hard. But it's one step at a time. And if people are in those positions to be able to help out, that's where you need it and where we need it.
Well, I just hope people really take what you're saying serious because, a lot of times, people that may not have had people in their families or whatever, or close friends that have trying to get back into society, they got a real closed mind sometimes, but then when it happens to someone inside their family, then it's a little easier for them to say, oh man, we need more opportunities for people to.
Yeah, I hear it all the time.
Yeah, and seeing that really, I think that's important. That's why I wanted to have you on and wanted you to share what you're sharing, because I think it's a lot of people might need the help, but they don't know where to go. And I'm not trying to be negative, like I said, but it's not something that's going to be advertised. Hey, you can, if you've been incarcerated or you got someone incarcerated, you can go through this program and actually get some help, to maybe have success when you get released. That's not gonna. Those ads don't hardly ever. I don't see them ads. I'll just say it that way. Maybe
those ads cost too.
They what now?
So those ads cost too.
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. Another thing is nothing free. I mean, so I try my best to, to give people a platform to share things that's going to help people. I mean, being grateful and helping people, that's not illegal.
Yeah.
And I just think that's important. Again, I just want to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
I think it's very important. My producer's looking at me, so I think I need to get ready to wrap this show up. But I have one last question. How does Jasmine Harris get her happy hour?
Right now, it's really in dealing with my family. Like when my day is jam packed with everything that I'm doing, and like just hopping off of social media and just being with my family, going to my kids' games, and my fantasy football league right now because I'm number 1. So.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much again for being my guest. I wrap my show up the same way every week, and it goes like this. Every day you blessed to say is just another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on. See y'all next Sunday.